Greetings, friends. I'm here with Marisol Mercado, a very dear friend whom I've known for many years. And finally, the time has come to have her as the guest on my program. Welcome, Marisol.
Thank you for having me, Billy.
We are going to have a series of programs. We're going to discuss a few very important topics: parenting, how to deal with technology and raising kids, trauma, and a few other subjects that you are an expert on. I would like to let you know, everyone, Marisol is a mental health coach and a counselor and many other things. She's a mom, she's a grandma, and you learn more about her as we move on through the episodes. For today, I would like just to introduce you to Marisol, and Marisol, I would like to introduce you to those that are watching my little podcasts. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what this name means, Marisol Mercado. It sounds a little bit Hispanic to me.
Indeed, it is. I'm Puerto Rican. I have been living in United States since I was 19 years old. I came for college, and even though I promised my mom that I would go back home the day after graduation, that really never happened because I adjusted to United States and absorbed part of the culture. I ended up having my own family here and returned for a few years in Puerto Rico, but I couldn't adjust to that culture anymore. And so came back, and I have been blessed with four grown children, one grandbaby, like you said. I enjoy several hobbies, and this is home for me now. United States. I became a social worker, and after a few years, I decided that I wanted to be a counselor, and so I went back to school, and that's what I've been doing for the last 27 plus years.
Um, Explain a little bit to us what does that mean? I know that you help a lot of people. I know that you are helping them. You are helping them overcome what exactly?
What they have not been able to overcome by themselves, basically. We are in a falling world where people are making bad decisions, and those decisions are affecting other good people. And so sometimes people don't have the support around them to recover from those complicated experiences, scary experiences. And so when people don't have the support around, and people don't know how to support those that go through those experiences stay in us, make us develop bad beliefs about us, about others, the world, about God, and life becomes very complicated. And so, as a mental health coach and as a counselor, I help people to understand themselves, to develop better coping skills so they can walk into the purpose that God has put in their hearts. Once they connect with that purpose and they start healing, then people start changing how they see the world, how they see themselves, how they see God, and life becomes a different story for them.
Absolutely. I would say that you are a doctor of the mind and heart and soul. Am I right?
I think it's a combination of things.
A
I think,
combination of things,
yeah,
yes.
it's a combination of things. It's something that I definitely use, my cognition, my intelligence, the intelligence that God gave me, but I certainly use my heart. I certainly use my own experiences, the recovery that I've done in my own personal life. And I truly enjoy my work in part because I never know what's going to happen in the office. I go every day with great excitement. Some people dread Monday, because they have to go back to the office. And I go excitingly. Some days, like, yes, I'm going back to the office. I'm very excited about it. Some pretty amazing things I see happening in my office almost every day. Sometimes I see them, quickly, and sometimes it's a process that takes time. Nevertheless, it's always exciting and amazing.
Yes, for those of you watching, I'm going to leave in the description of this video where you can find Marisol, her website, her social media. If you are in the United States, it's okay. If you are in Atlanta area, even better. But
Mhm.
I would like to assume that, Marisol, if somebody from India would like to become your patient, you would be able to take them virtually, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good, excellent. Now, I would like you to tell us a little bit more about yourself, about your upbringing. You said that you come from a beautiful island I only read about, Puerto Rico. I want to go and see it one day. I know the weather is amazing. I know the food is amazing, and the people are amazing. Tell us a little bit about your early years, your childhood in Puerto Rico, and what memories do you have from there?
Well, I grew up in Puerto Rico and I lived in the island until I was 19 years old. I was the second of four children, and both of my parents were very much invested in us. And my dad owned a business. And so I grew up, seeing that out of the box entrepreneur mind, and see how they connected with other people. That was a big deal to me. My culture is very much like the cultures of Latin America, even though we're in the Caribbean and we belong to United States. We love food, we love people, and every situation is a good reason to party. And so gathering with friends, coworkers is part of our daily routines, and the neighbors that are there long enough and friends that are long there long enough become part of our family, and we see them as relatives, as family. In fact, we almost never use the word relative. Everybody's family, everybody's family. So I come from that culture.
So family is a closer word than relative. It,
Yes.
it means that you can come uninvited.
Yes, we never need to announce ourselves. Absolutely never. And you refer to a relative, to someone incredibly distant that you almost never see. But if you see that person from time to time, that's a familia too.
Familiar too. Right. Tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about your transition from Puerto Rico, from a sunny and beautiful island to the continent of North America.
It was rather drastic, but I didn't notice at the time. I was 19 years old. I was studying in Antillean College, is our Adventist institution in Puerto Rico, and I had discovered after being there for about a year that I didn't want to be a Spanish teacher, and I didn't want to be a psychologist. I wanted to be at the time a social worker, and so that made me go to United States because I wanted to stay in the Christian education system. And so I became a social worker in Massachusetts after I graduated from Atlantic Union College, and that opened a world that I never thought existed. It was a world that I had never been exposed to. Servicing underprivileged people just opened the door for me to regain a different perspective on humanity and even on God. So it was a very transformative experience, the one that I had as a social worker, in my early 20s.
A social worker is what we call nowadays a soft skill. And it seems like you are very passionate about these skills, and you are passionate about people, and you are passionate about hearing new stories and helping people overcome what they couldn't do it by themselves, and showing a new direction. How does that make you feel?
Um, very small at times, and sometimes very powerful, because when you connect with the power and love of God, and you can see how that can impact other people through a simple conversation and interaction, connecting someone to a service, it is just very humbling experience. And yet it has made me feel very thankful to be placed in a position that I can serve others.
You mentioned something about going to an Adventist college. You're coming from a Puerto Rican Catholic background.
Mm.
Here's my question to you. Do you feel like being a Christian, belonging to this great movement called Christianity, it's an advantage for you in the work you do?
Um, I guess it is. I'm very careful how I
I'm not,
use.
I don't want to put you on the spot. I don't want to say that people belonging to other religions cannot be
Uh-huh.
amazing social workers, amazing counselors, or amazing mental health coaches. No, not at all. What I'm saying is because you mentioned the power of God. So I'm just responding to your statement. The power of God, being a Christian. Do you feel like it's a okay? Let me rephrase. Not maybe not an advantage. A plus.
I mean, definitely, definitely. I'm very careful how I use the word Christian and Christianity,
Hmm.
because unfortunately it's wrapped with a lot of misunderstanding and even judgment from others. And so definitely gives me, a different set of eyes. Definitely gives me in a spiritual perspective to understand and to help others. Yeah, it is an advantage. To me, has been an advantage.
Excellent. As you were talking, I remember Jordan Peterson making the very same statement, being very careful how to claim to be a Christian, because being a Christian is something so deep that cannot be covered in a podcast. So, Marisol, you have four children. I know them all. Two boys, two girls, amazing people. They are now adults in on their own rights with their own lives. Tell me about your experience as a mom.
Wow, it has been quite a journey. I think I started my journey as a mom 34 years ago with, like, I remember when I first had my oldest son George, and I hold him in my hands at the hospital, and I said, oh my God, this baby will never make it to kindergarten, because we will be in heaven by then. Like, I was that convinced that, we were not going to last more than 5 years, and
Mm.
34 years we're still here. So it has been a transformational experience for me. I started with a lot of dreams and rigidity about how I wanted my life to be, how I wanted to raise them. And then as life went on, I was surprised by the reality of humanity, domestic abuse, by adultery. And, I ended up becoming a single mom of four. And so that made my journey very different than I would have envisioned it, very far away from my dreams. I had to learn a lot of skills that I didn't have, that I did not see in my mom. Because when you parent, um, when you're a parent, you use the skills that you saw in your parents. But
Hmm.
when you have to become a single parent, there's a whole new set of skills that I didn't have. because I never saw it in my mom. I grew up with my mom and my dad. And so that opened the door for me to being the need to connect with other single women that were a little bit older than me ahead, in the process. It has been a challenge. George is 34, JC 33, Mary Sally is 27, Mary Ellie is 18. And I can say that all four of them continue to be my teachers. They continue. It to me, it has been a humbling experience that I don't think it's a school that I don't think I would ever graduate from.
But you gain some skills that you are happy to impart to others. So, spoiler alert, we're going to talk about the challenges of being a single mom in a episode, or maybe more than one episode dedicated
Mhm.
only to this. Because, as you say, what you learn from books in school and what you experience are two fundamentally different things. And when you know to harmonize them, you become a power to be reckoned with. Right. We can talk a lot about ourselves. You shared with us your journey in school as a mom. Now I know that you have a granddaughter. How is life as a grandparent, as a grandma?
I think it's great. I love I have to I'm gonna say this, and before people judge me, just hang in there. I love it and I hate it. I love it because it's a love that is liberated from unexperience or inexperience. It's a love that, it's fun. I don't have the pressures of I have to make sure that they learn this or that. And so it's very freeing. Um, I have the idea that grandparents, when we are balanced, are the parents that we were supposed to be. That's my view. I When I look at Ray and I play with her, sometimes I say, "Oh, I wish I could have been this relaxed when my kids were this little. I wish I had taken more time to play with them, because I think grandparents, if you don't spoil them too much, are the parents we were supposed to be." So I love it, in that respect. In my case, I'm having to negotiate constantly two cultures.
Hmm.
My Caribbean roots as a grandmother in an American culture that is very individualistic and very almost disassociated in a way from grandchildren, that you don't see them as often. And so it's a constant internal negotiation, a constant reframing in my mind. Look at it this way, um it's lovely, but it's still, um it's a process that I know I'm learning from, and I'm having to bow down to it and continue to be humble so I can, learn the lesson and be what I'm supposed to be.
Fantastic. I know how that feels from a granddad's
That's right.
experience. By the way, how does Reina
Raya.
Rhea Rhea calls you a certain name?
Yes. Before, as a typical American, this was not even a thought I ever had when I was pregnant with my kids. But George and Brandy, his wife, asked me, "How do you want the baby to call you?" And I thought, wow, this is very structured. This is very bland. and and they asked me the question, and there wasn't even a decision. It's like, what do you mean I'm abuela, you know and they're like, you want her to call you abuela, like in Spanish? I said yes, absolutely. And the other grandma chose another name, and that was it. And so I am abuela. Rhea is not fully bilingual. She knows a few words here and there, but every time she sees me, she goes abuela. So It's kind of weird when I pick her up, at the daycare, and or we see each other in public places, that she calls me abuela, and people are like, oh, she speaks Spanish. So yeah, I'm abuela.
But it's even more sweet when she calls you abuela and then she continues in English.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't
Yes.
know that my granddaughter, she's gonna be 2 in a few days. They've
Wow.
decided I mean, not her, but her parents
Uh-huh.
decided that she will call me Jefe.
Jefe. What does that mean? Like in Spanish, that means the
Yes,
boss.
yes, yes, yes. So I can't wait to see people's reaction when in public she will call me Jefe. If you need any more persuasion, if you need any more reasons to follow Marisol on her social media, you're going to find the links in the description of this video. If you would like to get in touch, you'll be able to get in touch with her. I promise you, we are going to have a series of conversations that will be very inspiring and up to date. In a world where most people struggle, not only with the mental health, but all these worries that surround us,
Mhm.
all these new things that we want to have and we can't, and we need to do extra shifts and get four or five jobs. There is hope.
Yes.
And I do believe that Marisol will inspire you to find the middle ground, to find a way to be happy. Even if you are a single mother, if you are a single father, even you have been divorced, even if you've been to trauma, there is
Mhm.
hope. And Marisol is to me, is a godsend. She's an
Mhm.
angel. She's
Mhm.
someone that can point you to the right direction. Marisol, thank you so much for this introduction. Stories from your life maybe will come when we're gonna discuss the topics that we propose to ourselves to discuss. If you have a question or an idea, please write it in the comments and we will make sure that Marisol will answer to that. Until next time, Marisol, God bless you. Take care. Abuela, be happy. And we will meet again soon. Bye bye.
You too, Jefe.
Bye.